Hello, welcome to another lesson. In the last lesson, we learned the batch function. But in this lesson, we are going to be putting everything together to build a complete system reconnaissance script. This is a professional security tool that gathers comprehensive system information automatically. Let's dive in. Before we start, make sure your Linux operating system is running and you have your editor opened. I am using VS Code. You can use Nano or any editor of your choice. Now let's write the code. The first thing we want to do is to create our file. So I will use the touch command to do that. Then I will name the file systemrecon.sh. Here is the file. Sorry, I didn't name it well, so let me rename. So it should be recon. Now I have it created, systemrecon.sh. So what I will do next is I will write the entire code and then walk you through it. Now this is the code from the beginning till the end. I will attach the link to where you can get the code or the script inside the description. So check the description, you're going to see the link that is going to take you to the file that contains all the scripts or the codes that I'm going to write in this video. Now let me explain the code. The first line here is the shebang, and it tells the system to use bash as the interpreter for our script. This next line creates a variable called report file. You can see that here. And the value stored in the variable is recon report. You can see it here, followed by the current date and time. The date command with format year, month, and day, also with hours, minutes, and seconds. That is the meaning of this HMS here. The command with this format will then create the timestamps. Example could be something like 2026 0323 underscore 230 then 22, where the 2026 is the year, the 03 is the month, the 23 is the day, and the rest of it is the hour, minutes, and seconds. And this ensures every report has a unique file name. After that, we are creating a function here which is named banner. So if you look at this line, it starts the banner function definition, and the function name is banner, followed by empty parentheses, you can see that here, and an opening curly brace. After that, we are having echo equals to, so we are echoing equals to here, and here we are echoing system reconnaissance tool. Also here we are echoing the date, and here we are echoing equals to again, so it's just like we are creating a banner, right? And here we are echoing just an empty line so that it can create a space for us. And here we are closing our first function. Now to the next function. The next function we are creating is collect system info, and this line is what starts the collect info function definition. After that, we have echo system information, and we are having a plus here. So what we want to do is that we want to display this on the screen. Also, we have echo host name, and here we are getting the host name dynamically. Next, we have echo os cat etc os release with the grep command, and we're adding pretty name, then cut -d and F2. And what this does is that it prints the operating system name, that is the OS name, and then the cat reads the etc/os release file, and this pipe sends output to grep, which finds pretty name line. And also this pipe here sends to cut, which extracts the value between quotes using double quotes as delimiter and taking field 2. The next one here is echo kernel, then we are getting the uname, and this prints the kernel version. The uname-r command shows the kernel release. Then after that, we are having echo architecture with uname-m, and this prints system architecture. The uname-m command shows machine hardware name like x86_64. After that, we have echo uptime-p, and this shows uptime in human readable formats like up to 2 hours or up to 3 hours 15 minutes, something like that. And here we are echoing or printing a blank line for spacing, and here we end the function. The next function we are writing is collect network info, and this line starts the collect network info function definition. The next line here is printing the network section header, which is the network information, and this next one is printing the IP addresses label, and this line is printing the IP addresses label. Then the next line is displaying IP addresses. The IPv4 address show lists IPv4 addresses only, and then the pipe sends to grep to filter lines containing inet. Also, the last pipe sends to awk, which prints 2 spaces plus 2 fields, which is the IP address. And after that, we are printing the default gateway label. Then after that, with this command, we are displaying the default gateway. The IP route command shows routing table. The grep command filters for default route, and the awk prints field 3, which is gateway IP address. After that, we are printing DNS servers, and for this line, we are displaying the DNS servers. The grep command searches /etc/resolve.conf file for name server lines, and the awk prints field 2, which is the DNS server IP address. After that, we are echoing an empty line, and then we are closing the function here. The next function is collect user info, and this line is the line that starts the function definition. After that, we are displaying this user section header. For this line, we are printing the current username. The whoami command shows the logged in user, and here we are printing the user ID. The ID-U command shows the numeric user ID. And for the next line, this is printing the home directory path. The $home variable contains the user's home directory path. For this line, we are printing the logged in users label. And after that, here, we are displaying the logged in users. The who command shows who is logged in, and then the awk command formats the output showing username from field 1, dash separator, date from field 3, and time from field 4. And after that, we are displaying an empty line, and we are closing the function here. Here is the next function we are creating, and this first line starts the function definition. This particular line prints the process section header, and this line prints the top processes label. And for this line, it displays top CPU processes. The ps-aux command shows all processes. The -- sort equals to minus %sign CPU flag sorts by CPU usage in descending order. The head -6 takes first 6 lines. The tail -5 skips the header and gets 5 processes. The awk prints field 11, which is process name, the dash separator, and field 3, which is the CPU percentage. After that, for the next line, we are printing the total process count. The ps-aux shows all processes, and then the pipe sends to w-l, which counts the line. And here we are printing memory usage on the screen. And for this line, we are displaying the memory information. The free-h command shows memory in human readable format. And then the grep command filters for memory line, which is MEM. The awk prints formatted output with total from field 2, used from field 3, and free from field 4. After that, we are echoing just an empty line. Then we are closing our function here. Then the next function is the collect disk info, and this is the line that starts the function definition. And here we are displaying the disk information section header. Here we are also displaying the disk usage, and for this line, we are displaying the disk usage as well. But the df-h command shows disk space in human readable formats. The grep-v removes the tmpfs temporary file systems, and then the second grep here with -v removes udev file systems, and then the awk skips header with nr greater than 1, then prints field 1, which is file system, field 5, which is percentage, field 3, which is used space, and field 2, which is the total size. After that, we are echoing an empty line, and then we are closing our function here. So this is our last function. And here you can see an opening curly braces here. And here we are closing our function. So if you come here, you can see that you are seeing an open curly brace here. And this starts a command grouping block. Everything inside here will be treated as one unit. For banner, this calls the banner function. For system, for collect system info, this calls the collect system info function. For collect network info, this calls the collect network info function, and this as well calls the collect user info function. This calls the collect process info function. This also calls the collect disk info function. And here we are displaying a banner, and inside the banner we are displaying reports saved to the path that we have created at the beginning, because we created a path right from the beginning. Here, if you come up, you are going to see that we created a variable here, and then this is our file name, and that is all for this particular command. So the next thing we want to do is to save our file, then make the file executable by running change mode plus X, then system underscore recon.sh. Then we run that, and after that we are going to run the code itself, which is system underscore recon.sh, and then you run it. And now you can see that we were able to run our code, and then the file was exported here. Can you see the file here? Also, if you check here, you can see that we are having our banner displayed, which is report saved to recon underscore report. Then this is the time, then this is the date, and then this is the time with .txt here. So in summary, the code creates a comprehensive reconnaissance tool that collects system, network, user, process, and disk information. And after that, it displays everything on the screen and also saves all the information to a timestamped report file. That is the summary of what we've just done. How about if you want to still run something similar, but add an interactive mode? For this as well, I'm going to include the code in the file that is in the description. You're going to find the link to the file in the description. Then you're going to have a total idea of what we are doing, because we are going to be using the read command to collect input. And that is the major special thing here. In addition to the read command, we're going to be using the case statement as well with some couple of menu. But if you can watch the previous lesson I uploaded, you're going to have a good understanding of that. If you pay very good attention as well, you're going to understand it right in this video. So what we're going to do next is to clear our terminal and then create a new file. We can name the file interactive-recon.sh. To do that, we're going to type touch interactive_recon.sh. You can see that the file has been created, so we can click on the file and come here, then put our code right inside of it. And boom, we have our code here. So I'm going to run the code now and you're going to see how it works. So the first thing I need to do is to make it executable, and then I'm going to write interactive recon. Then after that, I can run the code. And now you can see that it is asking me to type in something. So the script is creating a menu, and whatsoever information I give to it is a determinant of what it's going to do. So if I should type in 1, it's going to get me the system information. If I should type in 2, it's going to get me the network information. If I should type in 3, it's going to get me the user information. If I type in 4, it's going to get me the process information. And if I type in 5, it's going to get me the disk information. And 6 is going to save what it has generated to file. 7 then is going to exit. So let me type in 1. And now you can see that it has generated the system information for me. Then the next thing I can type 2, and you can see that it has created the network information. So the first one was system information. You can see that here. And then the second one is the network information. Now it's asking me to type in another option. So I can type in 3, and then it's going to create the user information for me. You can see that here. So if I should come here again and type in 4, if you come here, you can see that it has generated the process information for me, and it's giving me the top 5 CPU processes. Then after that, if I should type in 5 and hit enter, you can see that it is giving me the disk information. And after that, if I should type in 6, then it should save to file. You can see that it has displayed report saved to recon, then the timestamp. And if you come here, you're going to see that the new file has been generated, and this is the new file. You can see it here. So it has been generated with the new timestamp. Also, if I should come down again and then put in 7, it is going to exit the entire thing and say goodbye. So everything is inside the code or the script that we've written. So that's all for this lesson. But before we go, I want to challenge you, and I'm challenging you with this question. If you want to modify this last script that we wrote, how are you going to do that to scan multiple systems remotely via SSH? I'll come again. This current script that we've just written, if you want to modify it to scan multiple systems via SSH, how are you going to do that? I'll be waiting to read your thoughtful ideas in the comments. If you're here to subscribe to our YouTube channel, please do that now. Also, do not forget to like, share, and comment. Thank you so much, and see you in the next lesson.